like it or not. For the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand.
Are you guys familiar with scam baiters? Well, if you're not, allow me to explain. There's a number of popular telephone scams going around right now. Someone will call you, usually from a very loud and very crowded call center in India, and say that they're from your national tax agency, or Microsoft, or the regional police. They will then attempt to frighten you into paying them money, usually via redeemable gift cards. While the details of these scams may seem obvious, they are frequently used on the elderly, taking advantage of their lack of technological understanding. Scam baiters, on the other hand, are the antithesis to these scams. They actively seek out scammers and intentionally lead them along for as long as possible, wasting hours of their time in order to prevent them from scamming someone else during that time. Some of these scammers have even turned this into a full-time job. One of my favorites is Kip Boga, who streams live on Twitch while messing with scammers.
No, up dog. You don't know what that is?
Dog, what is up, dog? UPDOG.
Not much. How about you?
Now,
Warning.
just look at your time and date.
Warning. Warning. Warning.
I don't know who the fourth guy is.
But just hung up a call. I'm little boy. I am little boy.
Error. 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 When I look across the room at you, I get...
You only start to worry.
Remember,
Patience,
remember, that
remember,
God is patient
remember.
too.
Oh my God! Oh
And
my
think
God!
of all the times when others have to wait for you.
He does a very good job of explaining the way these scams work and what makes them succeed. Today, I'd like to draw a parallel between what these scammers do and something else. You'll soon see what. The first stage of a scam is selling the lie. This is when the victim is frightened or excited by the news that they either owe money or are owed money themselves.
You called me about an IRS lawsuit, and I've never done anything that I can think of that would require a lawyer to be involved.
Ma'am, you owe money to the IRS.
That's the first I'm hearing of this. What kind of money are we talking about?
3,980.
3,000? Oh, honey, that's a lot of money. When did you find out? Did you just find out yourself, or
Yeah, just find out, ma'am.
what can I do? I filed my taxes with my accountant.
Ma'am, that is not the concern of the Internal Revenue Service, that how you are filing your income tax, whether you're filing your income tax with the help of an accountant or you're filing your income tax with the help of a CPA.
Internal Revenue Service, how can I help you?
Yes, I'm calling in regards to my taxes.
So, ma'am, before I proceed your information, ma'am, please confirm your first name and last name so that I pull up information, ma'am.
Yes, my name is Margaret Woodhall Jackson III.
Okay, so ma'am, the reason you are getting a call from the Federal Crime Investigation Unit is because there are some legal allegations and a lawsuit is being filed against you by the IRS. So are you aware about this situation, ma'am?
No? What have I done
Okay,
wrong?
so
What do you mean?
Ma'am, listen carefully, ma'am. We are talking regarding your income tax. So you file your income tax every year, right?
Yes, I always do. I use the paper
Okay.
forms.
Okay, so ma'am, I will now go ahead and read out the legal charges against you, ma'am. While I'm speaking, do not interrupt me. I will give you a fair time to speak. Okay, ma'am?
Thank you for calling Internal Revenue Service. How can I help you?
Hey there. I received your voicemail this morning. I'm just returning your call.
Miss, can you verify your first and last name?
Yes, it's Dixie Wellwater.
Miss, is this same number you received a call?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm calling from my work phone. I have all my voicemails sent here.
Okay. The reason behind this call is to inform you about the lawsuit which is filed by the IRS on your name and you are being listed as the primary suspect with criminal allegation. I would like to inform you that the line on which we are talking right now is being federally recorded and monitored by the IRS headquarters and the legal authorities. IRS conducted a random audit on your tax filing between the year 2013 to 2017. IRS discovered strong evidence that it was not a result of innocent negligence, it was a willful act.
The scammer will use bits and pieces of official sounding language and false titles for themselves in order to invoke a sense of authority and convince the victim that they're legitimate. The idea is to override the more logical part of the brain with intense emotions, causing a person to act less rationally than they normally would. People do crazy things when they're scared, and if you want some evidence of that, just look up what a crush is, as in a crush of people. Hint, it's this. You're welcome for the nightmares. So, aside from financial threats, what else might make a person feel afraid? What other lies could you sell a person on? How about being told that their entire life is a lie? That they've been duped by the powers that be in a worldwide effort to control their thoughts and feelings? That's a pretty scary idea, isn't it? Especially if they frame such a thing in the guise of science, claiming they have studied detailed and complicated subjects, and repeating phrases like repeatable, observable, verifiable. Why would I bring up such a thing? No reason. The next step of a scam is to present the solution to the problem.
So it's his job to scare me and explain the story and then transfer me to his boss. And his boss is who's actually going to scam me. Are they just messing up the transfer?
Exactly, you got me right. It's a general deception. You need to make a payment for the outstanding amount which you owe to your local tax department, okay? Miss, you did not need to send a check. Your problem is you're not listening to me properly. What I told you, you need to make a payment by yourself to your local tax department, okay, through an electronic way.
Just talk a little bit louder. That's all.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Hello?
Okay, yeah, I got you. I got you.
Now the first condition is,
you can cancel the warrant so that your paperwork can be taken out of the courthouse. If you will cancel the warrant, you don't have to go to the courthouse, ma'am. No one will be taking you to the courthouse and you won't be facing any courthouse trouble if you cancel the warrant.
But
then you can get a payment arrangement.
When do I have to pay? When do I have to pay the rest of the money?
Rest of the money, ma'am, you don't have to pay that. Why? Because if you are saying that you have not made these mistakes, then why you will be paying for something which you have not done?
Oh, good heavens me.
To resolve this case, ma'am, you have to pay the amount of money which you're currently owing, and once you will pay this amount of money, your warrant is going to be cancelled and you won't be having any kind of criminal allegations under your name. You may face the legal trouble and you may not be able to get any kind of a bail or any kind of a payroll, and for the upcoming next 7 years.
So, you owe money to the IRS? There's a warrant out for your arrest? Well, that's okay. If you make a small down payment right now, the IRS can cancel the arrest warrant. All you have to do is go to your local Walmart and purchase an iTunes or Google Play card in the highest increments possible. It's just $1,000 or so. That's much better than being arrested, isn't it? The parallel, of course, is to join the cult of science denial. Subscribe to Jeranism and ODD TV and Beyond the Imaginary Curve. There, you can become woke. You can elevate yourself above the fear and squash it beneath a sea of memes and YouTube videos. That's more comfortable, isn't it? Yes, look out at the sea of sheep and throw your head back in laughter. Look at them with their silly rocket science, their books and their scientific backgrounds, gobbling up all the lies. What fools. But it goes a step further than that, doesn't it? Eventually, these saviors that you've found, these cults of online personality, will present an offer to you. An amateur cameraman named Joshua tells you he's going to make a film, a documentary, that will expose the lies you've been subjected to. Everyone will be forced to see the truth that you've become so woke to. But such truth is not exposed so easily. A project like that needs funding, and if they only need a few dollars from each of you, what's the problem? You lose a little, but the gains will be exponential, right? There's no way that Joshua is exploiting you for money, right? That's never been done before. A movie that was made simply as a way to scam people out of money, right? Never mind that Joshua's documentary lists stars that play a character of the same name, something that is never done in documentaries. Now let's move on to the real subject of this video. Riley. Anthony Riley. Otherwise known as Sleeping Warrior and a leading contender for Dumbfuck of the Year 2019. However, I don't think he should get the award. Not only is he destined to be the eternal runner-up, Riley's paper is not the action of a dumbfuck. I have come to the firm conclusion that the paper was part of a scam, an act of fraud committed by Riley. Let's take a look into the details, shall we? The first thing to look at is the crowdfunding campaign Riley used to help with the paper. In it, Riley claims he currently has an undergraduate degree in law, with honors. Let's stop and think about that for a moment. Considering what we know of his work, could he have possibly obtained this degree with honors, no less?
It's a total fabrication.
Something about this smells fishy, though at this point I am just speculating. However, some supporting notes. Riley states that his tutor is a practicing barrister, meaning he's passed the bar exam. This makes me even more skeptical because his tutor would be fired from the university for allowing such poor work to be submitted. What is he even tutoring him on? Next, let's take a look at the course specification for the course Riley is said to have taken. What we have here is a course from the University of Wolverhampton Law School, which awards a Master of Laws, Postgraduate Diploma in Law, and Postgraduate Certificate in Law. On page 7, the document goes over its quality code, with several links to different academic standards set by the university. Unfortunately, I myself am unable to view the links, perhaps because I'm not a student at the University of Wolverhampton. However, look at these names: qualifications frameworks, credit frameworks, subject benchmark statements, university policies and regulations. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure at least one of those is going to outline the format in which you're supposed to submit your work. Not only that, but I went the dum-dum route and Googled UK law thesis citation format and came back universally with the answer of Oxford Standard. Are we really supposed to believe that Riley didn't know the format he was supposed to submit his paper in?
Because the university don't support or didn't support this, they've not given me the format.
You're wrong. No, because you don't correct anyone. You don't educate anyone because you are a moron.
For which I'm supposed to, they didn't tell me if I need the context table or not. They didn't tell me which form of referencing they needed at the end or not. Should it be Harvard, Oxford, or whatever? They've not told me what I need to do.
You can't correct me because you don't know anything.
They've not told me what I need to do. So they've not told me what I need to do.
Now, the last thing is the real crushing factor. I've gone ahead and looked up the specifics of the UK Fraud Act of 2006, which states, under Provision 2, Fraud by False Representation, a person is in breach of this section if he A. dishonestly makes a false representation, like being qualified to submit a master's law thesis or even attend a master's level law course, and B. intends by making the representation 1. to make gain for himself or another, or 2. to cause loss to another or to expose another to a risk of loss, like creating a crowdfunding campaign to get people to donate money to what they think is a worthwhile cause. It further states that a representation is false if A. it is untrue or misleading, and B. the person making it knows that it is or might be untrue or misleading. It qualifies a representation as any representation as to fact or law, including a representation as to the state of mind of A. the person making the representation, or B. any other person.
So let me guess. The Anthony Riley has done a stupid, huh?
Sleeping Warrior, I want you to really think about that. Imagine what it must have been like. Think about their families and what they've been through. Then tell me you're okay with carelessly spreading this sort of garbage around like it's a known fact.
Yes, Anthony Riley, or Liley is so incredibly stupid that it actually took me twice as long to write this episode as I intended.
Well, Mr. Anthony Riley has just released a new video, and boy is it a corker. I had to make sure I grabbed it quick, because I bet that he removes it from sheer embarrassment.
So let's hear it one more time. Sleeping Warrior claiming someone else's work as his.
My famous density tower.
Not a good start there, Sleeping Warrior. Not a good start.
Now, Mr. Riley, if you had any integrity, you would put out a video right now acknowledging that this is proof positive of a curved Earth, a spherical Earth.
And Anthony not actually doing, actual fucking research and looking at the source and watching the video from start to finish, basically made a complete ass out of himself, and now he's saying he was deceived.
Anthony, when you hinted at the beginning that you were going to be an artist, I didn't realise that you'd been speaking to allegedly Dave. I didn't think it was that sort of artist.
Yes, I just
Anthony lost again. That's you know what I think is worse is that he just keeps losing. That just means he's too hard. Anthony, you're a loser.
We know you're a massively dishonest piece of shit, which is why you constantly live up to the name Liley.
Now I'm going to ask this again. If you have a triangle with sides of 1, 1, and 1, what are the angles?
I'm gonna pull up a triangle calculator.
Let's do this again. Anthony, a triangle has sides 1, 1, and 1. What are the angles? Is somebody recording this? Because this is just priceless.
I propose that Riley is in breach of this provision, number 2 of the UK Fraud Act 2006. The false representation is his qualification to write a master's level law thesis, and his intention to submit it as a legitimate attempt to, quote, slip FE into a university. He intended, by making this representation, to make a financial gain for himself at the expense of his fan base. The representation is false because I do not believe he currently holds a degree in law, nor do I believe a real barrister tutored him on this project. I believe he was fully aware that his paper, even if submitted, would fail. My final evidence for all of this is this image, a screenshot from a behind-the-scenes chat while Riley was engaged in a debate. In it, he's being coached on the spot by Nathan Oakley, and look at what they're saying. Both of these people are not flat earthers. They know full well that the Earth is a globe. Riley submitted a paper that he didn't even believe in himself. So, this is why Riley cannot win Dumbfuck of the Year. I propose he wins the Eric Dubé Award, Con Artist of the Year. Good job, Sleepy Warrior. You committed fraud and left documentation of it all over the internet. Sometimes, I can't believe this is the fight I fight. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel, which is Dead Kennedy in Space. If you want to support me further, consider donating on Patreon or purchasing some of my work through Amazon or Teespring. Thank you, and I'll see you over the curve, Space Cowboys.
Live there, on the mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam, in a vast cosmic arena.